Alright folks, let's cut straight to the chase. Prepping isn't just for doomsday enthusiasts or people stockpiling bunkers. It's about being ready for real-life emergencies that happen every day. Whether it's a sudden storm, a power outage, or the next unexpected global crisis, the cost of not prepping is way higher than you think. Think about it. Inflation is through the roof, grocery prices are climbing faster than ever, and supply chain issues mean some shelves are already looking empty. Now, imagine what happens when disaster strikes and you're caught without the basics. You're not just scrambling to find food and water, you're paying a premium for it, and let's be honest, that panic isn't cheap. Today we're breaking down the cost of not prepping. We're not just talking about money here, although trust me, your wallet takes a beating. We're also talking about your time, your peace of mind, and even your family's safety. From panic buying at inflated prices to medical bills you could have avoided, being unprepared will cost you in more ways than you realize. So, if you think prepping is expensive or unnecessary, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll see how not prepping could be the most costly mistake you'll ever make. Let's dive in and take a hard look at why preparedness isn't just smart, it's essential. Unprepared equal panic buying. Let's talk about panic buying. We've all seen it. Empty shelves, long lines, and people scrambling for essentials. When a crisis hits and you're not prepared, panic buying becomes your only option. And let me tell you, panic buying is expensive. Prices skyrocket during emergencies. That $5 pack of water you ignored last week, now it's $15 if you're lucky enough to find it. And it's not just the cost of goods, it's the cost of wasted money. You grab whatever's left on the shelves, half of which you don't even need. That 30-pound bag of flour? Great. But do you even know how to bake bread? Being unprepared means you spend money inefficiently, and that's cash you'll never see again. Now let's bring this closer to home. As of November 2024, the U.S. is bracing for a colder than average winter. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, has forecasted a significant drop in temperatures with the possibility of snow in various regions. In fact, some areas are expected to experience temperatures as low as -8 degrees Celsius, with snowfall anticipated to start around November 21st, especially affecting the highlands and Mauritius. Imagine this scenario. A cold snap hits and you're caught without the essentials. You rush to the store only to find that everyone else had the same idea. Shelves are empty and what's left is priced exorbitantly. You're left with no choice but to buy whatever's available, regardless of the cost or your actual needs. This isn't just hypothetical. During the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw firsthand how quickly panic buying can lead to shortages and inflated prices. Essential items like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and canned goods disappeared almost overnight. Those who were unprepared had to pay a premium or go without. The lesson here is clear. Being unprepared leaves you vulnerable to market fluctuations and supply shortages. By taking steps to prepare now, stocking up on non-perishable foods, water, and other essentials, you can avoid the stress and financial strain of panic buying when the next crisis hits. Medical expenses you could have avoided. Let's talk about medical emergencies. Without a basic first aid kit at home, you're risking both your health and your finances. A $15 first aid kit can prevent hundreds or even thousands of dollars in emergency room visits. Without it, you might end up paying $500 for a doctor to treat a wound that a simple bandage and antiseptic could have handled. Consider over-the-counter medications. Stocking up on essentials like pain relievers, allergy meds, and cold remedies is inexpensive compared to the premium you'll pay during a shortage. Imagine catching a severe cold during a supply chain crisis, only to find that cough syrup is sold out everywhere. Now you're sick out of pocket and regretting not preparing earlier. In the past 3 months, the U.S. has faced significant challenges with medication shortages. According to the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, ASHP, there were 323 active medication shortages in the first quarter of 2024, surpassing the previous record of 320 in 2014. These shortages have affected a wide range of drugs, including those for common ailments. Imagine this scenario. You or a family member falls ill, and you don't have the necessary medications at home. You rush to the pharmacy, only to find empty shelves and long lines. The few remaining products are priced exorbitantly, and you're left with no choice but to pay a premium or go without. The lesson here is clear. Being unprepared leaves you vulnerable to medical emergencies and the associated costs. By taking steps to prepare now, stocking up on basic first aid supplies and over-the-counter medications, you can avoid the stress and financial strain of medical emergencies when the next crisis hits. Let's delve into the issue of food waste and its financial implications, especially as we approach the winter months. In the United States, it's estimated that approximately 30 to 40% of the food supply is wasted annually, equating to about $161 billion in losses. This waste isn't just detrimental to the environment, it also significantly impacts household budgets. As winter approaches, the cost of fresh produce often rises due to increased demand and reduced supply. For instance, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has projected that in 2024, prices for all food are predicted to increase by 2.2%, with food-at-home prices projected to go up just 1%. Imagine purchasing fresh fruits and vegetables at these higher prices, only to have them spoil before consumption. This scenario leads to a direct loss of money and necessitates additional spending to replace the wasted items. According to the USDA, the average American family of 4 loses about $1,500 annually on wasted food. Preppers mitigate this issue by employing preservation techniques such as canning, freezing, and dehydrating. These methods extend the shelf life of perishable items, ensuring that food purchased at today's prices remains consumable in the future, even as prices continue to rise. Additionally, maintaining a well-organized pantry allows for better inventory management, reducing the likelihood of items expiring unnoticed. By adopting these strategies, you not only combat food waste, but also shield yourself from the financial strain of inflation. In essence, preparation is a proactive measure that safeguards both your pantry and your wallet against the challenges of rising food costs and potential shortages during the winter season. When we talk about the cost of not prepping, one often overlooked factor is lost productivity. Emergencies don't just drain your finances, they rob you of time, focus, and the ability to stay on top of your daily responsibilities. Let's break it down. Imagine this: a severe winter storm hits your area, roads are icy, shelves are empty, and you're scrambling to find the basics: food, water, batteries, and warm blankets. Instead of staying safe at home or working remotely, you're stuck navigating crowded stores or waiting in long lines, wasting hours that could have been spent productively. In the US, the winter months frequently bring disruptions due to snowstorms, power outages, and hazardous road conditions. For example, last year, Winter Storm Elliott impacted more than 200 million people across the country, causing travel chaos and widespread power outages. In such scenarios, being unprepared means you're not only risking your safety, but also losing valuable work hours. Now consider the knock-on effects. If you're a parent, unexpected school closures mean you're juggling childcare on top of everything else. If you run a business or work hourly, every minute spent unprepared for the storm could translate into lost income. Even salaried employees face disruptions, meetings canceled, deadlines missed, and projects delayed, all because you weren't ready to weather the crisis. But the cost of lost productivity doesn't end with the immediate emergency. Recovering from a disaster takes time, and without proper planning, that recovery can stretch into days or even weeks. Cleaning up from a burst pipe caused by freezing temperatures, replacing spoiled food due to a power outage, or missing work to care for an illness that could have been mitigated, all of these add up to hours of lost income and energy. Prepping is about reclaiming that time and focus. By building a stockpile of essentials, maintaining backup power options, and creating a winter emergency plan, you free yourself from the chaos that disrupts your life. You're not just ready for the storm, you're able to maintain your productivity, protect your income, and avoid the cascading effects of being caught off guard. The takeaway? Productivity isn't just about work, it's about having the peace of mind to focus on what matters, even in a crisis. Prepping ensures that when the unexpected happens, you're prepared to keep moving forward instead of scrambling to catch up. The psychological toll of being unprepared. Emergencies don't just hit your wallet, they hit your mental health. The psychological toll of being unprepared for a crisis can be profound, affecting your ability to make sound decisions, maintain relationships, and stay calm under pressure. Let's dig deeper into why this matters, especially during the stressful winter months. What about if a sudden winter storm knocks out power in your neighborhood? Temperatures plummet, and your home grows colder by the hour. You haven't stocked up on extra blankets, candles, or food. As the situation worsens, panic sets in. Anxiety spirals as you wonder how long the outage will last and how you'll keep your family safe and warm. This isn't just discomfort, it's a psychological battle that can leave lasting scars. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to stress during emergencies can lead to chronic anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. When you're unprepared, the stress of not knowing where your next meal will come from or how you'll keep warm amplifies these feelings, making it harder to focus and act rationally. Panic buying and impulsive decision-making often follow, further compounding the problem. The psychological toll doesn't stop with you, it extends to your family. Children, in particular, are highly sensitive to stress. Seeing their parents panicked and scrambling for solutions can make them feel unsafe and anxious. This stress can disrupt their sleep, behavior, and even academic performance long after the crisis has passed. Now let's talk about the feeling of helplessness. When you're unprepared, every moment of the emergency reminds you of what you didn't do. That constant mental replay of "I should have stocked up" or "why didn't I plan better" can lead to guilt and erode your confidence in your ability to handle future crises. This loss of self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to manage life's challenges, can have long-term effects on your mental health. Contrast this with the peace of mind that comes from being prepared. When you have the essentials, water, food, backup heat sources, and an emergency plan, you approach the same situation with a sense of control. You know what steps to take, and that confidence reduces stress for you and your loved ones. It's not just about survival, it's about maintaining your emotional and mental stability in a time of chaos. Winter emergencies are particularly challenging because they isolate you. Snowstorms and icy roads make it harder to reach out for help or connect with loved ones. Being unprepared in these moments magnifies the sense of loneliness and vulnerability, which can spiral into depression. A well-thought-out prep plan, including communication tools like battery-powered radios or emergency contacts, helps you feel connected and supported even when you're physically isolated. In the end, prepping isn't just about stockpiling supplies. It's about protecting your mental health. It's about ensuring that when a crisis strikes, you're equipped not only to survive, but to do so with calm, confidence, and clarity. The psychological toll of being unprepared is a cost too high to pay, and with a little planning, it's one you can avoid entirely. The reliance on credit cards, a costly mistake. When you're unprepared for an emergency, relying on credit cards can feel like a quick fix, but it's a slippery slope that comes with significant financial consequences. Imagine this: a winter storm hits, your pantry is empty, and you rush to the nearest store. With prices already inflated due to demand, you're forced to swipe your credit card to cover essentials. Sure, you get what you need in the moment, but you're also racking up debt that doesn't go away when the storm clears. The average credit card interest rate in the United States is now over 20%, the highest it's been in decades. When you rely on credit for emergencies, you're not just paying for the cost of the goods, you're paying for months, even years of interest. A $500 emergency grocery trip could easily balloon into $600 or more, depending on how long it takes you to pay it off. Relying on credit cards also creates a false sense of security. It's easy to think, "I'll just use my card and deal with it later," but emergencies don't stop at one. What happens when the next crisis hits while you're still paying off the last one? The cycle of debt becomes a trap, making it harder to save or plan for the future. Prepping eliminates this reliance. By gradually building a stockpile of essentials and creating an emergency fund, you're ready for the unexpected without turning to high-interest debt. It's not just about saving money, it's about breaking the cycle of financial stress and ensuring you're in control, no matter what life throws your way. How prepping saves you money. Prepping isn't just about being ready for emergencies, it's a practical, money-saving strategy that pays off every day. Think about it. When you have a well-stocked pantry, you're not running to the store for last-minute purchases at inflated prices. You're buying in bulk, taking advantage of sales, and avoiding the financial pitfalls that come with being unprepared. Let's break it down. When you plan ahead and stock up on staples like rice, beans, canned goods, and pasta during sales or at wholesale prices, you're locking in today's costs. This protects you from inflation, which has been driving up food prices across the United States. In the past year alone, grocery prices have risen by 3.7%, with items like bread and dairy seeing even steeper increases. Buying ahead means you're not at the mercy of these fluctuations. Prepping also reduces food waste, another major expense. The average American family throws away about $1,500 worth of food each year, but when you store food properly, using methods like canning, vacuum sealing, or freezing, you extend its shelf life and ensure it doesn't go to waste. Instead of tossing out spoiled produce, you're turning it into meals, stretching your budget further. Now let's talk about emergencies. Being prepared means you're not spending double or triple the price during a crisis. We've seen it happen time and again. Whether it's a snowstorm or a power outage, demand spikes and prices follow. Batteries, bottled water, and other essentials suddenly cost more, and people who didn't prepare are left paying a premium. Preppers don't face this issue. They've already stocked up on what they need, often at a fraction of the price. Prepping saves on gas money too. Fewer last-minute trips to the store mean less wear and tear on your car, and fewer tanks of gas burned through. And in today's economy, where gas prices are unpredictable, every little bit counts. But the savings go beyond just food and supplies. Prepping helps you avoid expensive mistakes like relying on high-interest credit cards during a crisis. With a stockpile in place, you're not forced to swipe your card for overpriced goods. Instead, you're saving that money, or even earning interest on it if you've built an emergency fund. Ultimately, prepping is about being proactive with your finances. It's an investment in your future, ensuring that you're ready for the unexpected while keeping more money in your pocket today. From inflation-proofing your grocery bill to cutting down on waste and avoiding debt, prepping is one of the smartest financial moves you can make. So, what's the real cost of not prepping? It's stress, wasted money, lost time, and unnecessary debt. Prepping isn't just about surviving the apocalypse, it's about thriving in everyday life. It's about taking control of your future and saying, I'm ready for whatever comes my way. Don't wait for the next storm, inflation hike, or unexpected emergency to hit. Start small, stock up on essentials, learn a few skills, and build your preparedness over time. The best investment you can make is in yourself and your family, and prepping is the smartest way to start. Stay prepared, stay smart, and as always, take care of yourself and your loved ones.